Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project for this week. In this episode we're going to be using the Spellbinders Horsehair embossing folder. We're going to be using Spellbinders label 54 decorative element. We're going to be using our Fab Girl stamp. Now I did say in the very first Spellbinders project that I did that we would revisit her, and we're going to today. And we're also going to be using the Feisty and Fabulous stamps again, because I just think these two products are absolutely fantastic. When you get yours, you just get the stamp in your packet. I've actually made a mask, which we did in the very first project, and I've kept it in the packet, but you just get this stamp. So let's get on and make a fab card with our Fab Girl. No pun intended. So the first thing that we're going to need is our base card. Now the card that I'm using is an ivory blank card, and it's a 6x6" card, and I'm just going to show you how it looks on our cardometer so that you get an idea at home of the size that we're going to be using. So that's how it sits on our cardometer. Not too big, not too small, really nice size to decorate. It won't overwhelm you. So as always, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to give the card a nice sharp score along the edge, just to make sure that it'll sit nicely on, I'm going to say a mantelpiece, because I don't think this one will sit on a windowsill. So as always, we're going to do the inside first. Now this is a really simple insert and ideal to use your scraps up with as well. So I've taken the Feisty and Fabulous stamp, Sweet, Classy and Sassy. I've stamped it using black stays on ink, and then I've tapped an ink pad along the edge in a dove grey colour. Again, it was a stays on ink pad. And you'll see that the actual insert that I've stamped on isn't the full size of the actual card insert. Now this is because, as I say, you can use your scraps up with this insert, and this was a scrap of ivory that I've got, and it fits from top to bottom of the card, but it doesn't fit right to the edge at the opposite side. So that's the first part of our insert. So you can see I've got a bit of a gap here. So what I've done is, one of the papers that I'm using for the outside is from the Dove Crafts Sweet Paris collection. And I've just taken a strip of it. It's actually a strip from what I've cut down for the front. I've just taken a strip, and then I've taken a strip of red card. Again, it was a scrap, and just made it so that there's a few millimetres poking out. And then I'm going to simply add this just to one side of the insert so that it covers that section. And that is our insert finished. It's got a little bit of colour, a little bit of pattern, and enough room for your messages and your stamped image for your sentiment. So now we can do the front of our card. Again, I'm just using my bone folder for that sharp score, and the base paper that I'm going to add to the actual base of the card, just using moving my label so you can still see it, is a pale grey colour, and it's just a standard sheet of paper. It's not cardstock, it's just paper, and I've cut it to fit for the first layer. Now you might have some of the square matting and layering dies from Spellbinders, they work perfectly. So, and I'm simply adding it to the front of our card like that. Now the next layer I've got is our embossed layer. Now I don't know whether you knew that Spellbinders make embossing folders. This is the horsehair embossing folder. It gives a lovely finish, a lovely textured finish, and this is ideal for so many of your different projects because it's not a floral, it's not design specific, it's just a general pattern for backgrounds. So I'm simply layering this up, and as you'll notice, I'm not really caring about this side. I'm taking more notice about this side here. So because we've got something to put down this edge, and again it's a strip of paper from the Sweet Paris collection, matches to the paper that we've used on the inside. I've simply cut it and then inked the edges, and I'm going to position it over the side to cover our shortfall in paper. And I'm going to just trim that edge at the top like so, just so it fits perfectly. And that is our pattern strip. So next I've taken my Ornate Label 54 die, I've die cut it in ivory, and I've taken it through the machine again and embossed it to make sure it picks up the detail. And I've got flat tape on the back, and I'm simply going to position this to this side of our card. There we go. So it just overlaps the side of the card and the paper like that. So far it's building up really nicely. Next, in the same packet with the label 54 die, you get a rectangle. So I've die cut that in again the matching ivory card to the card that I've used to cut out the decorative part, and I've tapped it with the Dove Grey ink pad, and again it's on flat tape, and I'm just going to add it in the centre of the decorative layer. Next, before I add my Fab Girl, I'm just going to take a couple of gems, some of the red gems. Now this could be any size of gem. I'm just using, I think these are a 3mm. So, and I'm adding 3 at one side, and then I'm just going to add 3 at the bottom on the opposite side as well. There we go, and I'm using my pokey tool to add them, just to help pick them up really and be able to position them. So those are our 3 gems at either side. They're self-adhesive, so they stick nicely themselves. Next, I'm going to add my Fab Girl. Now I haven't die cut her, I've stamped her and then I've cut her out. The shading on the actual stamp gives you the colour on the dress and on the bow and in her hair and her shoes. All I've done, I've not added any colour apart from on the handbag, in the little bow, and I don't know if we're picking this up, and the little bow at the side of her dress. I've added a little bit of red, and I'm going to position her. I should have shown you on the back. She's on 3D foam, and I'm just going to position her over the rectangle because I think she's got a little bit of Paris chic going on there. And then to finish the card off, I've made a satin bow, and I've added a bling stone and added just a paper twirl around the bow in red, just to give that extra red colour. And I'm going to position it just at the side of the label to finish the card off. There we go. Press it down, and that is our card finished. So you can see the outside is so beautiful with that stamp, and it's made a focal point of her with no sentiment on the front because we've got the sentiment on the inside, and it matches perfectly with the paper that we've used, We've not even used a full sheet of pattern paper. So again, you could use your scraps. It's a different way of using it, but it just makes us stand out so well. The card will stand up nicely. As I say, it'll go on a mantelpiece, it won't be on a windowsill. It'll go in an envelope because the height we've got is from the bow and from the girl herself. So that's a really pretty card, easy to use with just those few products from Spellbinders. Please check my blog. You'll be able to comment on this project on my blog from now on. I've had a lot of trouble with YouTube's and my replies disappearing. I get to see your comments, but I can't reply to them. So from now on, for every project that goes on, you can comment on my blog. If you don't do blogs or anything, you can always comment on Facebook. So please click that like button. Head on over to my blog. There'll be a full description and a list of products that I've used, just in case you've missed it. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.